Hello, Gamehounds listener. This is Nick DeNicola, the Gray Block, here at... Are you ready?
Yep.
So, where are we?
We are at PAX East at the Lantana Games booth showing off Children of Liberty.
Okay, and who are you?
I am Dan. I run Lantana Games and am the game designer on Children of Liberty.
Okay, so describe Children of Liberty. What is it?
Children of Liberty is a stealth game that takes place the night before the American Revolution. You're playing as 4 kids who are helping Paul Revere on his midnight ride.
So, a stealth game of the American Revolution is kind of a novel idea, not something that springs to mind when I think of the American Revolution. So, where did this come from?
This came from the fact that as I was reading up on Paul Revere's ride, I noticed that there were a lot of plot holes. Basically, a lot of coincidences in how he was actually able to survive the night. And so I kind of figured, okay, he must have had some help in the background that nobody's ever written about, some spies who were keeping him alive and making sure the redcoats stayed off his back. And then I kind of had the idea, like, well, what if these were troublemaking kids that were helping him the entire time? And what if these kids had to, spring their parents from jail, and the only way they could do that was if the Patriots helped them? And so the story just kind of ended up writing itself.
Okay, and so I got to play a little bit of it, and it's a very cool style. It's on a 2D plane, but it's a 3D, so you move in and out of the background, and that's essentially how the stealth works. You go into the background to get into the stealth. How did you come up with that? How did you decide to incorporate this 2D, 3D world? Where did that come from?
Well, that came kind of just from the fact that we moved the game into Unity. We had started it in Multimedia Fusion, where it was just a pure 2D game, and we did a Kickstarter a couple years ago, ended up getting some Unity Pro licenses, and sort of just messed around with the assets that we had, brought them into the engine, saw what we could do with the lighting and the shadows, and then we got the idea, well, hey, we've got this tech that can build worlds in 3D. Why don't we just move the game into 3D? And so over time, we've developed a system where when you're on one track and then you get to an intersection, then you can turn onto another track. And then from that spring abilities like, well, why don't we hide at the corner to be able to see what's coming up on the next track and do like a classic stealth game corner lean. And then why don't we be able to turn while we're in cover? Or why not be able to do corner takedowns and, all these different things that really enhance the stealth gameplay through the exploration. And so it's all sort of an iterative process, and it's just sort of built up from that.
And so I got to play it, and the controls are really tight for a game that's an alpha, and you've worked on that a lot. And that's really important for a stealth game when the timing is really tight, and even just now I was able to make those real tight moments, when someone's turning away and then they look at you. How hard have you worked on those timing and control elements?
Oh, so hard. I mean, it's very nitpicky to get the numbers exactly where we want them. So we've been like, affect character speed, affect character jump height, affect the time it takes for you to jump into the shadows. So all that stuff has basically come down to like fighting game timing, making sure that everything is tight, precise, and that the player is never at a disadvantage because of the controls.
And so I got to play as one of the characters, but there's going to be 4 playable characters.
Yep. There's going to be 4 characters. The one we're showing at PAX East is Joseph. He's our classic platformer. Really shows off the core gameplay of everything that's going on. So he's got core platforming, core stealth, and core action. And the other characters, there's Doug. He's our real action guy. He's a tank. He's huge. He can barrel through enemies and tackle and ground pound to stun. There's Joseph's sister, Allie. She's a free runner, so she has a low rate of acceleration, but the highest top speed in the game. She can do like Mega Man slides and roundhouse kicks, and she's very kick-focused in taking out the redcoats. And then there's Sarah. She's our super stealth character. She uses a yo-yo to swing through the environment and do inverted takedowns on redcoats, and she's a little 8-year-old psycho, basically.
And so doing those inverted takedowns, that's the most effective way to get rid of them. But you're talking a lot about dashing and punching and kicking. And when I played the demo, I am just so good that I was not seen. What happens if you do get caught, though?
If you get caught, one hit and you're dead. We had experimented with, a health bar, HP, and it was just too easy. I mean, it was basically like a redcoat would punch you. Oh, well, no big deal. I'm just going to go, attack him again, buy myself some time, and then do a takedown on him. Eventually, we were like, no, you know what? One hit and you're down. You're playing kids ranging from 8 to 14 years old. And we knew that the redcoats couldn't shoot. Because A, who's going to shoot a kid? And B, those muskets take way too long to reload. So from a gameplay perspective and from a narrative perspective, that didn't feel right. So basically, they just sort of knock you out, and then you're captured. And that's that, and you start from the last checkpoint.
Cool. And when will people be able to play this? Where can they play it?
People can purchase the alpha right now at Desura.com. Desura is sort of a purely indie Steam kind of system. And they can vote us up on Steam Greenlight. If they purchase the game early at Desura or childrenofliberty.us, they get a current code for that, an eventual code for Steam, and free DLC for life.
Free DLC for life?
Yeah. So it's sort of discounted in that you won't have to pay for any DLC. We'll just give it to you.
Nice. That's a good deal.
What's the price? Gamer Edie here from Game Mountains, all hosts standing here. What's the price on it?
The game's only $9.99.
All right.
US dollars.
Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And it was Dan Silvers?
Dan Silvers.
Dan Silvers. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Stop.